Hey everyone, welcome to another one of my videos. My name is Luke Richardson. I'm a life coach and I'm here on a mission to help anyone going through any adversity in their lives overcome it. So in previous videos I've talked a lot about particular topics, alcohol being one, workplace stress being another, and a couple of other topics as well, like relationships and parenting children. I want to do a bit of a different video today. I want to go a bit deeper. I want to hit the essence of life, what these videos are all about, because this understanding fixes any problem. Hence why I do different topics, like I've just described to you. So there is what we see, what we're seeing on a daily basis is is a play. It's a play that's playing out in front of us. Things are happening all the time, and we see them with our own psyches, whether in a good, bad, or a neutral way. And this world we're living in is working absolutely perfectly as it was intended to do. We just don't know it because our own thought system, our own psyche. I've just described psyche again. Our own interpretation of this gets in the way of it. But life is working perfectly as it should be, and I can prove it. I can prove it to you in this sense. So, I'm not going to insult your talents, but I'm going to say it anyway. Morning comes and night comes. So the sun rises and the sun sets. That's an example of life working perfectly. The system was designed to be that way, whether whether we understand that or not. That's the way it works. A couple of weeks ago, I was cutting some apple for my daughter's porridge for breakfast. You can see it very. You probably can't on the camera, but I really cut my. It's pretty much healed now, so I don't know why I put it to the camera. But anyway, 2 weeks ago, I was slicing apple with a knife for my daughter's porridge, and I cut it, and blood was going everywhere. I was in a right mess because I had to get ready for work as well, and that delayed me by about 10 minutes to hit the road. But the point of the story isn't to give you a lecture of how I cut my finger and how it hurt and bled like hell, but the intelligence of life is there. You can't see the cut on my finger anymore, and this was only 2 weeks ago. Forces are at nature all the time, working in the background in a good way to keep us alive. If it wasn't, without getting too overdramatic, I'd have probably bled to death without that intelligence working in the background. What else is there? Weather, bright, beautiful day today in the UK. And it's been hit and miss all week. It's been like this, pushing 30-degree heat, absolutely glorious weather, and it's been for last week. It's been changing intermittently. It's been going, cloudy and wet and horrible, and just changing all the time, and then going back to sunshine again. But that's again forces at work. Acting the way they should be. But I'll give you one more. Gravity. Forces at nature again. Work as it should be. Without gravity, we'd be all floating into space. Life is working in the background as it should be, but because of our thoughts and how we see things, and the problems we accumulate in our mind, we don't see it. But that's great news, because that if everything is working as it should be, that any thoughts you're having that are giving you stress or any adversity is just pure creation. And if it's pure creation, you can in a second, in a heartbeat, not feel that stress anymore. I'm not saying it's as easy as I'm saying it, but the potential's there. If you understand it deep down, that you could have another thought, then you don't need to worry about certain things that are on your mind. I said this is a play. Another metaphor to describe this is there are backstage cast that are helping this production happen, and that's, you know, the gravity, the cut my finger healing too quickly, the weather changing to how it wants to be and how it should be, dawn coming up in the morning at 5 a.m. with the sun rising, and, you know, the night drawing in. This is all backstage crew helping whatever this is work, and we are creating what we want to, not what we want to create, what is coming to our mind, what we're holding on to on a moment-to-moment basis. I hope that helps. I hope, not a particular topic today, but a deeper conversation, a deeper discussion about this, you know, life. It's working in the background as it should be, and we are kind of writing the script of it in the forefront from what we can see in our mind. We don't have control of what's happening out here. You know, things are happening all the time. I was only driving out in the car with my wife earlier. We hit an accident. You know, it's not our fault. You know, the accident happened. You can't control it. We're stuck in traffic for a few minutes and had to turn the car around and go a different way. You know, things are going to happen. You know, happen. Things are going to happen. Life's a contact sport. But here's the interesting thing. I was seeing it a little bit different to the other drivers. So there were a lot of people getting stressed, you know, get aggressively turn the car around. I was kind of calm and just thought, you know what? I had a different perspective of everyone else. Let's put the car in a neutral spot where we can figure out what we're going to do or go a different way. And that's what we did. You know, something happened out there, and other drivers saw it a particular way, quite frustrating, you know, quite annoying, having to, you know, go a different way, you know, an aggressive 3-point turn to show it. But, you know, I saw it a lot different to them. It was the same incident, but we saw it in different ways. And the interesting thing, the sun is still going to go down tonight, despite that. Things are happening in the background, and we're creating this experience. I hope this helps. Don't worry if you don't understand it. Our intellects aren't designed to understand this, because we were given the gift of thought, the gift of experience to, you know, live life. We can't, and because of that, we can't see the backstage crew. We can't see it. We can see the effect of it. You can see the sun rising, and you can see it going down. You can see the gravity going down, but, you know, you can't see the spiritual essence of that. You are a spiritual being. I'm a spiritual being. And that's great news. We can relax. We can take our experience, you know, with a pinch of salt. Because despite whatever circumstance you're going through, you're just going through an experience of it. And your experience of it can be different. It can be different the next day. Hopefully better, if it's not good at the minute. Hope it helps. Comment. Send me an email. I'll put my email address in the comments. Send me a comment, and let's keep the conversation going. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.